Born in 1903. That makes you 97 years old, doesn't it? Is that right? Are you healthy?
I'm not 97,
How old are you?
39.
Okay, now if you were born in 1903, that makes you 97. And I have a question. Do you feel that you're healthy? Happy?
Yeah, that I am.
Okay, now
So,
let's
as long
get,
as my children are well, I'm happy.
now, let's get into your time as a girl. Were you a happy little girl?
Yes,
And you were born in Russia, I know that.
Yeah.
What was the name of your village?
Plusk,
Plutsk?
that's the city.
Uh-huh.
And Vitebske Gubernia is the state.
Uh-huh. And you don't remember your father, if I remember.
No, I don't.
But your mother?
Yeah, of course, she took care of us. She's a wonderful person. And her name was Lesha, and that's in Jewish. And in English, it was Leah.
Uh-huh. And you have how many brothers?
2 brothers,
And their names?
Nathan and Louis Basker.
And you had a sister.
1 sister, Frida.
And Frida would be the mother of Barney and Marty Schneider.
Oh, I
am
have,
correct?
yeah. I have nephews, Barney and Manny Schneider.
And in your village, did your mother have to work, or?
We had a bakery.
Really?
We made bagels and bread.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was selling the bagels. I was, in Europe they string bagels on a string.
Uh-huh.
And I used to string them a dozen at a time. And that was my job.
Uh-huh. And are you the oldest of the children, or where did you?
No, I'm the youngest.
The youngest.
Yeah. Louis was the oldest, then Nathan, then Frida, then I.
And was it in your village? What was the village name again? What was the name of your village again? Push. The name of your village. What? And was it hard to be a Jewish girl in that? Was it hard to be Jewish in Russia in those days?
Yeah, it was.
The Russians didn't treat you very well, or what was it?
Well, they didn't abuse us, but they didn't like the Jewish people.
And what made you want to come? Why did you come to America?
Because my 2 brothers, first my aunt and uncle was here, the Harrises.
I remember that.
They were here. They sent money for my oldest brother to come to America. Then he worked for a while, saved up enough money to send for my younger brother. Then they both worked, saved up enough money, and brought us over.
Your mother and Frida
And my
and you.
sister, yeah.
And you arrived where when you came here?
Arrived in,
New York, Boston? Or?
it was in New York, and we were supposed to go to Ellis Island. But I don't know, somehow it worked out that we didn't go. I
Wow.
don't know the reason.
And where did you come steerage class on the boat? How did on the boat? Were you in steerage?
Yes, we sure did. My sister, I didn't feel good. My sister felt good on the boat, And she was going from one floor to the next, running around. She was seeing different people and having a good time. What else?
And then when you arrived now in New York, did you go immediately to St. Albans, Vermont?
Yes, my brother came to New York to take us to St. Albans, Vermont.
Went to the train? On the train? Did he go on the train? He must have gone on the train.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can remember
And when you saw St. Albans, Vermont, what was your impression of St. Albans? After having come from a village in Russia, to St. Albans is the state of Vermont. Did you like it when you came? Or?
Well, we didn't like it. At the beginning it was all right, but as time went on, there was nothing to do in Vermont, you know.
How old were you? Right.
I think I was 14, 15.
And
then you couldn't go, they had Saturday night dancing in a hall. And of course you couldn't dance with a Gentile boy, and there was no Jewish boys. So we did dance. One fellow comes over to me and asks me to dance. You know, the girls sit on the side, and the boys come and ask to dance. So one boy came over, he asked me to dance. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do a foxtrot.
Well, you sure learned that the years went on, didn't you?
So he says, I'll teach you how. Come on, let's go. So he taught me how to do a foxtrot. And after that, that was my dance with him every Saturday night.
Was he Jewish?
No.
Oh!
Oh, my...
Your mother would have had a bird.
My mother didn't care so much. It was my uncle.
Mr. Harris.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Do you?
Yeah, one time we met him. Now, I think you once told me a story when you arrived at St. Albans about going to school.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that.
I came when school was just starting after the summer vacation, and my aunt took me to school, and she introduced me to the teacher, and the teacher took 2 apples, and she says, she holds it in her hand, and she says something to me. I didn't know what she was saying, because I didn't know the language. So then I found out that she wanted to know if I knew how much 1 and 1 is. Okay. So then she went, seeing I didn't know the answer, so she put me in the 1st grade with all the little kids. And the desks there were too small for me. I was a big girl for my age, so they had to bring down a desk from the 8th grade, and they put it on the side of the little kids, small desk. And I sat in that desk for, not very long. I knew I was learning fast. So then they promoted me to the 2nd grade, then the 3rd, a bit before I knew I was in the 8th grade.
Is that as far as you went to school?
Yes,
with the 8th
as far
grade?
as I went, and I really am sorry I didn't go to high school.
But you've done all right.
I'm sorry to this day. You need a education to get along.
Well, you didn't do so
But
bad.
I got along all right.
And so after you finished school, how did you happen, I assume right after you finished school you came to Worcester, am I correct? What did you do after you finished school? Did you work in Vermont? Did you come to Worcester?
Yeah, I worked in the bakery.
Oh.
Selling bagels. And then they used to, I know what they call it, a market, like, where you bring your goods, your bagels, whatever you have, you make a display, and you sell it to the like farmers.
Oh, like a farmer's market.
Yeah, they come every year. They come in on a Saturday and Sunday, to buy the goods.
Did you work on Saturday?
No.
You would Sabbath, you observed Sabbath then when you were in
Yeah,
Florida?
no, never worked on Saturday
Uh-huh.
until I came here.
Well, times were different, you had to, I suppose.
Yeah, I had to.
So what brought you to Worcester? That's something I never knew.
Well, we arrived in Worcester. My sister didn't like Vermont. She didn't like it. And you couldn't go out with Gentile boys, and there weren't any Jewish boys. So she said, Mother, I want to go to Worcester. She said, so my mother says, well, if you want to go to Worcester, if you stay with the Sugarmans, there was a family that we knew in Worcester. She says, if you'll stay with the Sugarmans, then you can go. So they wrote to the Sugarmans, and and she said yes, and she stayed there. And then she went to a dance on a Saturday night, and she met Sam, that's her husband, and she was getting engaged. So she wrote to us that she wants us to come to the engagement party.
You and your mother?
Yeah, oh yeah. And so we got ready, we came to the engagement party, and there, Morris was there. Morris and Sam were cousins.
Oh, I forgot that.
And that's how I met Morris.
Through Bubby.
Huh?
Through Bubby. Wasn't Sam related to Bubby, Morris's mother?
Yes, yeah. And what's next?
And so did you decide, you and your mother both decide to stay in Worcester, or how did you have to stay here after the engagement party? After the engagement party, how did you and your mother and you decide to stay in Worcester? Was that it?
Well, because my mother met
Mr. Silver?
Mr. Silver. She, I forgot the name, but you remember.
You once told me a while back.
I did.
And she married Mr. Silver?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. And did you, the minute you met Morris the same night, when did you go out with Morris the first time?
When did I go out?
Yeah. You met him at the engagement party, you
Yeah.
said.
And so he came over, he said, can I see you tomorrow? I said, yes. And he saw me every week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you must have stayed in Worcester then.
Yes, yeah.
And wasn't there something about he once in the morning after, I'm putting words in your mouth, but right after he met you,
Yeah.
didn't he once invite you into his store or give you a Hershey bar? That's what you once told me.
Yes, it's true. I forgot about
He
it.
bribed you with a Hershey bar.
Was it the Hershey bar?
That's what you told me once.
It was.
And how long did you and Morris go out together, keep company before you were married?
Not very long.
Really?
We got married, and we lived happily ever after.
How old were you when you married?
Oh, I thought I was 17, but my mother said I was 19.
Uh-huh. And that must have been, then, if that's the case, you must have been married in 1922?
Well, probably.
And then what, how long, much longer after you married was you first, with Esther?
Well,
Right after, how long before Esther was born after you were married?
Esther's my sister.
Your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter. Well, it took a long time. I wanted a baby badly, but I just couldn't get pregnant. So I went to the doctor, and he examined me, and it seems that my tubes were turned upside down or something. So the doctor straightened it out, and after that I had 4 daughters.
And
He stayed it all.
did Morris always had a market though, didn't they?
Yes.
Where was the first market when you first got married? It wasn't on Belmont Street yet, was it?
No.
Where was it, around the east side somewhere, like Providence Street or somewhere?
No. It was in a marketplace.
Oh.
And there was a store that carried bread, all in all that. And I had a stand right outside, near the market, where I sold the bagels. Yeah. And then we had, she came over to me while I was in the market, and she says, your mother wants you to come home, take the bagels, whatever's left, and she wants you to come home. So I did, and when I got home, my mother says, what are you doing here? I forgot her name. I said, I don't know, so-and-so told me that she wants me home. She said, no, it's not true. But anyways, I was home already, so I stayed.
So, and with Morris and his markets, with Morris, your husband,
Yeah,
he always had a market.
yes.
And did you work in the market too? In his store, in Morris's store?
Oh, sure.
You did.
I worked all my life.
Even with all the children you did?
That's right.
And when you first got married, in 1922, what street was your first apartment on?
I think it was Orchard Street.
Okay, on the east side. And then, from there, you must have gone to Belmont Street? To Linwood.
Linwood.
And Morris had a market where? Right across the street from Memorial Hospital, didn't they?
Yes, yeah.
And where did your daughters go to school?
Belmont Street School. Yeah.
And what about, did you belong to a show?
The what?
To a show?
A show?
Yeah,
Oh,
synagogue?
Yes, we belonged to the Jerusalem School.
Where was that located?
Harrison Street.
I remember the little one in Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how, this is probably a bad question to ask you. How did you get along with your mother-in-law and father-in-law?
Oh, my father-in-law loved me. My mother-in-law, not so.
I don't think she liked too many people, did she? Wasn't your father-in-law?
And my father-in-law was, I think, 7 feet.
Yeah, he was a big man.
Yeah.
I see pictures of him.
And my mother-in-law was about my height.
Yeah, yeah. I remember her.
Do you?
Yeah.
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 And where was I?
And now, on Morris's side, he had 2 brothers, right?
Max
And Manny.
and Manny.
Yeah. And sisters?
There was Rose, Ree, and Bessie. Can't remember. See,
You're doing all right. Nothing wrong with your memory, that's for sure. So, the girls, what high school did your daughters go to?
Commerce.
They all went to Commerce, all graduated high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And life went on.
Oh,
Then
sure.
Belmont Street, didn't you have another market after Belmont Street? Dick Street Market? Did Morris have Dick Street Market after?
Could be. I remember I had stayed in one market and Morris stayed in the other.
And where did you live? Didn't you live upstairs in the Dick Street Market? And they used to call it Siegel's Restaurant, so many people used to eat there.
Yeah, I guess so. See, I don't, you remember more than I do.
Now, like everything, I suppose, when you've lived as many years as you have, can you hear me? When you've lived as many years as you have,
Yeah.
there's a lot of knockouts and happiness. I imagine there must be some unhappiness over the years too.
It's a hard life, wasn't easy. You didn't make, even though you had, I had to stand.
When they grew up, they got married. Esther married Buddy Cobb, right?
Yes.
Was she was the first one of your daughters to marry, or was Miriam the first one to marry?
Yeah, Miriam. Yeah.
Miriam married Mookie Bernstein,
Right.
Right. And then Esther married Buddy Carp.
Yeah.
Shirley married Charlie Burek, the school teacher. And Dorothy married who?
The Civins.
There you go. Okay, and
That was a good guess.
And she was sick for many years. Yeah. And so I guess it isn't all happiness, but everything always turns out well, doesn't it?
And when Miriam passed away, Mars couldn't take it. He felt, I don't know why, office. And he asked Mars asked Miriam to come to work for him. He says, give up a nice job to go work with bagels.
Yeah.
So Miriam said, okay. So she gave up the job and she worked in the bakery.
And Miriam's two children were
Larry and Lee. Debbie.
They're both in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hear from them.
Oh, you sure do. You get letters from Ellie all the time. I read them.
Yeah, from Ellie, yes. But why can't they write?
Maybe they got a sore wrist.
Yeah, too bad.
Right.
Morris and I took very good care of them.
We sure did.
And everything that we could.
Sure
they
did.
can write. Why leave it up to, what's her name?
Ellie.
Ellie.
Now, didn't,
it makes me mad, because they know how to write.
Yeah, I suppose. What about now, there was another little girl that lived with you at that time too. What was her name? Another little girl that you brought up for a while that lived with you?
Oh, gee, yes.
Frances, I think.
Frances, that's right.
Yeah. You had her all living in one apartment, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Frances.
Yeah.
See, don't hear from Frances either.
Well, some people aren't as considerate as you were or are, really.
Boy, we loved Frances, Morris and I. She was like our own.
Yeah.
We didn't consider her an outsider. But
When
Billy came over to take Frances because she got married. He married Lillian.
Lillian Wood, yeah.
Yeah. He came over, took Frances. I remember standing near the window. I see them going away, and I waved to them, and Frances turned around, to see me, and she waved too.
The last time you saw her, right?
Yeah.
That's a sad story. That's a sad story.
Yes. That's why I said it was good and bad.
It was good, but you always managed to bounce back, didn't you? No matter what happened to you. Then I don't know many people that could dance like you could. When did you learn to dance?
When did I hear it?
You remember, you were a tremendous dancer.
Oh, sure.
And where did you learn to dance?
Well, I don't know. My sister and I used to go to dances every Saturday night. There was a Geiske dance, no Jewish dances. So we went, well, whether my brothers liked it or not, we went to the Geiske dance, and the boys would come over and ask us to dance, which we did. And one fellow came over to ask me for a dance. I think I said that, didn't I?
Yeah, I think it did, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just, you remember you and I used to dance at all the weddings? Do you remember that? You remember me dancing with you? Oh, for God's sake. You remember?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, if I don't remember, how can he?
Because he used to say, well, you know, Grandma's getting a few years on, but she still sure knows how to dance. I have something else to ask.
I love to dance.
I have something else to ask you.
What?
I remember after Morris died, I remember that you went to work at R.H. White's.
Right.
And you were very happy working there.
Yes.
Tell me about it. Where did you work? What did you do?
I worked in the children's department. They had they had infants, preteens, and children, and I was in that department.
You worked there many years, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Made a lot of good friends.
Oh, yes. I don't even remember them.
Marjorie Giggs.
Oh, yes, she's a peach. She's a black girl. And she invited me to her daughter's wedding, and I invited her to Dorothy's wedding.
Yeah? And weren't you very friendly with my mother, too? Did you take trips with
Mother, I should say so. We used to go downtown every, I think it was Saturday.
And then didn't you go to Israel together, too?
No,
Didn't you go to Israel?
no.
I thought you did.
Your mother went.
Oh, maybe that was it.
They went to Florida together.
Huh?
You went to Florida together. You went to New York with my mother and you stayed at my brother Bob's place.
Yeah, that I remember, yeah, that I did.
Yeah. And
What do you hear from Bob now?
he's doing all right. He's getting to be an old cocker.
Still not married?
No. Got a girl for him?
Got a girl?
Do you know a girl for him? Maybe it's time he gets married. He's 75.
Oh, God. No, too late now.
Too late now?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And now, you used to, some of the places you lived, I know you lived on Linwood Street.
Linwood.
And the last place before you came here to the Jewish Healthcare Center was 1050 Main Street, remember?
Yes. Yeah.
And you seemed to be very happy there. You liked it there, didn't you?
Oh, yes, yeah. Seemed to remind me of a lot of things that I don't remember.
Well, that's why we're doing this. That's it. When we show you this, you're going to be able to remember even more places.
I went to the synagogue every Saturday.
Yeah.
The Russian Shul. That's where my husband belonged.
And what about his father?
His father, well, that's where he went.
Now, how about Manny Sigel belonged to Beth Israel? Was that later on?
Yeah. Oh,
And then,
Manny and Ruth, they belonged.
and didn't you later on in your life, didn't you join Temple Emmanuel? Didn't you join the temple?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right. You used to go to the temple all the time, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is religion a big part of your life, or isn't it important?
At the time it was. I had fleischiks, milchiks. You know what I'm saying? Meat.
She separated meat and dairy.
Yeah.
Separate dishes for meat, dairy food. I had separate dishes, pots and pans. All the I was strictly kosher.
See, when I first knew you, I don't think you were so kosher. You wouldn't have ham in your house.
No, And
But
I
you
still-
weren't that kosher when I first met you. Let's see, do you remember the first time I'll have to tell you a story while we're at it, then maybe you could comment on this. Do you remember the first time I met Morris?
You met Morris?
Yeah. Dorothy and I were keeping company, and she insisted I had to come up and meet her father. And he had been in Philadelphia at the time. He had been working for his brother Max.
Max, yeah.
And I walked into the living room, and Dorothy said to Morris, "This is my friend Marty." Morris got up, shook my hand, and said, "Well, it's 9 o'clock, it's time to go to bed." Do you think I impressed him?
I think you did. After all, you married Dorothy.
That's right, that's right. He let me marry Dorothy.
What?
He let me marry
Yeah,
Dorothy.
that's right.
And I've never regretted it.
Well, good, I'm glad you don't.
How many grandchildren do you have now?
Now I think 7.
Okay, and how many great-grandchildren?
13.
Wow, wow, that's
As
quite a
far as I
legacy.
know.
You got any kids, Todd, you're not telling her about?
Not that I'm not telling about, just the 3 I have.
And I guess we'll close it. Are you happy? Are you happy? A happy person?
Am I happy?
Are you a happy person?
Now you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I do the best I can.
Very good.
I could be happier if Morris was alive, Millie was alive, you know.
But do you know if Morris was alive, how old he'd be now? If Morris is alive, do you know how old he'd be now?
Morris?
Yeah, if he were still alive, how old would he be? I know. He would be 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 years old. Can you imagine?
Nobody was that age.
Yeah. Are you gonna make it to 100? No problem, huh?
With me?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
no
I'll
problem.
celebrate my 100th birthday. I'm what now, 97?
7. We're gonna have a heck of a party when you're 100, I'll tell
3
you.
more years,
Yeah. Boy, are we gonna have a
I'll
party.
be here
You bet you will.
with God's help.
Yeah.